Joe Arpaio's campaign for the U.S. Senate is in turmoil as it enters the final days before the primary, although Arizona's GOP establishment never took Arpaio's candidacy seriously, casting it as a way to keep the 86-year-old Fountain Hills grandfather busy and out of the House after Maricopa County voters booted him out of the sheriff's office in 2016. He still could be the spoiler in the three-way Republican primary. The week before the August 28 Republican primary, Arpaio's campaign appears to be flailing. Chad Willems, Arpaio's campaign manager of 20 years, is no longer involved in the campaign's day-to-day operations. And Arpaio has added 2 new staff members who some claim are more interested in seeking vengeance against one of the former sheriff's 2 Republican primary opponents, former state Sen. Kelly Ward, than guiding him to victory. His candidacy has complicated Ward's chances at locking down the party's nomination, which helps establishment-favored frontrunner U.S. Rep. Martha McSally. Arpaio and Ward appeal to the same conservative pro-Trump Republicans and are dividing that vote. Arpaio said Friday that his campaign has been rather stagnant the last several months, but is flourishing under the former Ward operatives, Dustin Stockton and Jennifer Lawrence. I would imagine that my success recently is conducive to new people I've brought in, not being hijacked, Arpaio said. My campaign has taken off. I don't care about polls. Polls show Arpaio, who in the distant past was once one of Arizona's most popular politicians, consistently in third place in a GOP race that's considered one of the most important in the country, the general election race, which is key to Republican efforts to retain control of the U.S. Senate, is deemed a toss-up by analysts. Close in an interview with Yvonne Wingate Sanchez of The Republic, former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio reveals his agenda if he becomes U.S. Senator. Tom Tingle, Arizona Republican strategist Constantine Querard drew the online ire of one of the new Arpaio staff members after he questioned his online tactics, particularly the use of the F-word during his promotion of Arpaio. Querard said Arpaio either is doing this on purpose, or he thinks he's running for the Senate and he's being exploited by the people who are assuring him that he is, but they know darn good and well that it's something entirely different. That's where you feel bad for the guy. The low point, Querard said, arrived with Arpaio's appearance on comedian Sacha Baron Cohen's comedy series, Who is America? Arpaio was tricked into appearing on camera with Cohen, who posed as a Finnish journalist and forced Arpaio to react to vulgar comments. The taping occurred before the Ward staffers joined his team. Arpaio rarely curses, but he says no one is taking advantage of him. Nathan Sproul, a Republican consultant not affiliated with Arpaio's campaign, said, I do find it sad in the sense that he could have ridden off in the sunset in a respectful way and have been fine. Former Ward operatives Stockton and Lawrence, who used to work as reporters for Breitbart News, joined Arpaio's team in early August as early balloting began. Stockton and Lawrence left Ward's campaign nearly a year ago, saying, among other things, that she was not a true conservative. Since then, they have lobbed unverified accusations on social media against Ward and her husband, Michael, over their compensation, the inner workings of the campaign, and the Ward's integrity. Stockton announced their intent in joining Arpaio's campaign in an August 5 tweet. Following the fallout with the Wards, he wrote, "You're expletive right. We waited until the moment when coming forward would have the greatest impact in preventing her from getting to the Senate." Reached for comment, Willems referred questions to campaign, saying he no longer speaks for Arpaio's operation. Willems said he is not involved in its day-to-day operations, including the hiring of new staff. His focus is on fundraising and campaign finance compliance. Arpaio said staffing changes are not unusual, particularly in high-profile races. He's now a consultant. Arpaio said of Willems, campaigns do have consultants to give you ideas. Close. Here's what you need to know about Arizona's Senate candidates: Kirsten Sinema, Deidre Aboud, Joe Arpaio, Martha McSally and Kelly Ward. Carly Henry, The Republic, asked Central.com a disservice to Arpaio. Arpaio brags about his unfamiliarity with social media. He still uses a typewriter. His new campaign team's primary platform is Twitter. The tone of the posts has grown more aggressive and has been intensely focused on the wards. In tweets over the past several weeks, Stockton and Lawrence publicized salacious and unproven accusations against the wards. The allegations included harassment, and claims that ward goons were threatening to leak nude photos of Lawrence. That coincided with the release of a video that shows Ward singing a rap song on karaoke in what appears to be a bar. A wine glass sits on the table. Ward spokesman, Zachary Henry, said in a statement to the Arizona Republic that the staff members are doing a disservice to Arpaio. It's really sad and unfortunate that the social media and campaign of a patriot like Sheriff Joe is being used and manipulated for other means, Henry wrote. Our numbers show the tactics being used by his staffers are backfiring and he can't win. He cast the race as between McSally and Ward, consistent with polling. Arpaio said Stockton was standing up for him only against attacks by Ward supporters. It was only to defend me and my campaign and fight back, he said. I'm a big boy, so if they use that type of language, everybody seems to do it. I'm the type of guy that tries not to do it, but I can't tell the whole world what word to use or not to use. That may have been in the heat of fighting that day. The expletives came out. He noted that McSally has also used the F word when telling her GOP colleagues last year it was time to vote to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. You ought to talk to her about those words, he said. He added that he has been giving McSally a pass for too long and that he will soon target her. Stockton said Arpaio now gets a daily printout of the social activity. His senatorial Twitter account, a couple of weeks ago, he did tell me to tone down the vulgarity unless I was responding to something that was extremely vulgar, he said. He said his obscene remarks were made in response to out-of-bounds attacks. Come Election Day, Stockton said he thinks Arpaio's showing will surprise people across every quantifiable campaign metric, whether it's social engagement, fundraising, events and scheduling and a bus tour. Across all those metrics, his campaign has built significant momentum, Stockton said. We're hoping it's enough. Close in an interview with Yvonne Wingate Sanchez of the Republic, former Sheriff Joe Arpaio says he will only serve one term in the U.S. Senate. Tom Tingle, Arizona Republic. Read more on Joe Arpaio. Read or share this story. https://azc.cc/2lcx1ja